Hey there storytellers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you can see from the title down below, is going to be the book sacrifice tag. So this tag was originally created by Ariel Bissett, and I will link her original video tag down below. But basically, for those who don't know, the book sacrifice tag is a short list of fictional scenarios wherein you have to pick a book to sacrifice to the scenario, to the elements, to the gods, whatever you want to call it. But without any further ado, let's get right on into it. Just as a precursor, I'd like to say that the original prompt is supposed to be books you hate and are willing to sacrifice. I don't generally bring in books that I think I'm going to hate. I at least own things that I think I'll like to a degree. So I don't outright hate any of these next few choices, but I just thought I'd let you know that they're not my top tier favorites. So prompt 1 is an overhyped book. Basically, the zombie apocalypse happens while you're browsing in a bookstore, and the zombie's only weakness, your only line of defense, is an overhyped book that everybody loves, but you didn't love or that you outright hate. What is the book you use to defend yourself? And for this one, I'm going to pick Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. So, like I said, I didn't outright hate this book. I liked it, it was okay, but I had a lot of trouble connecting to either of the characters. I felt like there was a lot of moments where they were willfully ignorant and inconsiderate of each other, and in part you can excuse it because they're young adolescents, and then to another degree, they're just being selfish just to be selfish. Eleanor in particular was a little bit of a struggle to relate to, even though she has troubles and you sympathize with her to a degree. It was just not my absolute favorite Rainbow Rowell read, but I didn't outright loathe it or anything. Prompt number 2 is a sequel. Basically, you leave the salon, your hair's looking just gorgeous, but suddenly the rain comes and it threatens to ruin your new do. What sequel are you willing to sacrifice to protect your hair? And for me, I am going to go with Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Now, this one was a bit of a surprise to me as a pick because I do love the Caraval series a lot, but in terms of sequels, I just didn't feel like this one held up as well as some of the other sequels I have in my collection. In part because Caraval follows Scarlett and Julian and their journey together, and then the sequel, Legendary, takes place in the same world with the same characters immediately following the events of the first book, but it follows Scarlett's sister Donatella and Legend, the game maker of Caraval. And while it's still an interesting read and it's still fun, at least for me, it's not a favorite of everybody, but the fact that it just doesn't follow the same characters is kind of off-putting to a degree. There's a reason for it. It does kind of make sense. Scarlett and Julian's story, at least in the game world of Caraval, is kind of wrapped up, but still, this one just doesn't stand out to me as much as a fantastic sequel that I love, so I'm willing to sacrifice it. Prompt number 3 is a classic. Basically, your English teacher is going on about how great this classic is, how it changed the world, and you're just wanting to take this novel, chuck it at your teacher, and risk the detention. And for that, I'm going to have to go with The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. There's not much for me to say about this. I've only read this once. I didn't have any particularly strong feelings about it when I read it, but I will say that when it was assigned to me in high school and my teacher was going on about it, I read maybe the first chapter, listened to a 5-minute discussion in class, and wrote my summer reading essay off of that. So not my shiningest student moment, but definitely not a classic that I think is as widely earth-shattering as some of the others. And last but not least, prompt number 4 is your least favorite book of life. And you're sitting in a library, the world explodes due to global warming, and everything freezes over. Your only chance at survival is to create some warmth by burning your least favorite book of all time. And for that, I'm gonna have to go with Well Met by Jen DeLuca. Now, this is definitely not my least favorite book of all time because I definitely haven't read that book. I often do not go near books that I think I'm going to dislike, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So this is one that I just thought I would like more. It's a romance, it's contemporary, it takes place at a Renaissance fair, so it had the makings of a fun read for me, and I just found the two main characters that you're supposed to be rooting for to be fairly infuriating and annoying characters, and it made it very hard for me to want to finish, and it made it hard for me to enjoy the moments where they weren't being infuriating because they ruined it 2 seconds later by being infuriating. So this is definitely my least favorite that I currently have in my collection. But that is it for this video. Those are the books I am willing to sacrifice in these crazy, wild, earth-shattering scenarios. Normally you'd end this video by tagging some other booktubers, but I don't actually have any booktube creator friends, so I'm just going to end it here. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like down below. And if you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. And I highly, highly recommend ringing the little bell so that you don't miss a beat of Vlogmas while it's still going on. We do still have some days left of content coming. So I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye!